Welcome to the Global Businesswomen's Pod, hosted by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. I am Susan Dyson and extremely excited to be your podcast host. In my day job, I am proud to be the CEO, President, and founder of the Chamber. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., we will bring you inspiring stories of women who are leading in the advancement of women and girls. We will take you with us to our premier events. You will meet entrepreneurs, executives, and philanthropists who will empower and inspire you to succeed. So please mark your calendars and join us for the Empowering Global Businesswomen's Pod, Thursday at 6 p.m.
Before we get started, I would love to hear, was Consuela a family name? I know you've used Connie now for your surname or given name.
That is true. Consuela is not a family name. My mother was started her career as a teacher, and when she was doing student teaching, she had a student with that name that she really liked, and so she usurped it when I was born.
Oh, that's great. So tell us a little bit about your family. Did you grow up here, and about your siblings?
I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I have two younger brothers. They live, one in Los Angeles and one is still in Louisiana, and my parents are still in Baton Rouge. But I came to Houston for college, went to the University of Houston and fell in love with the city, and so decided that I wanted to settle here after I got out of law school, and I've been here ever since.
Well, I know you've had such a fantastic career and have so many things that you're proud of and all, but is there anything that, looking back at your career, you would say, gosh, I wish I'd have done this differently or done that differently?
Yeah, looking back, if I had to choose something that I would have done differently, I definitely would be more proactive at a younger age. When I started at the firm, I had gone straight through college and law school. This was basically my first job, and everything was new, and so I think I was more passive as a younger lawyer as I was figuring things out. And so I think that if I had to go back, I would definitely think about being more proactive earlier on and taking more charge of my career from the beginning rather than letting things happen more organically.
But, I think that we really see that now when we see all the opportunities that perhaps, of course, I'm talking for myself, I'm much older, that the millennials have now. So I think we were just happy to be in the room. I know I was at the time. But looking back, I have those same feelings. Oh, why did I accept that? But it sounds like you are where you want to be. So we're excited to be able to recognize you in this way. And I know in our careers, we all have someone that has influenced us, who has sponsored us, who has mentored us. And we want to hear about those people that are in your life, but we also want to hear about your mom and dad and who really influenced you more as far as your career. I know sometimes one is more of an influence in your personal life, but we want to hear about everybody. So please share with us.
So if I had to think about, mentors, and particularly whether I was influenced more by my mother or my father, I've been really blessed in my life. And I honestly think that as far as my parents go, I was influenced equally by each of them, but in different ways. So my father's an attorney. So, there's a clear correlation there with me becoming an attorney, but I didn't become an attorney to emulate him. We ended up in the same profession. But one of the things that I learned from him in entering this profession is that I had always seen him conduct himself in a way that was just full of integrity and professionalism. And, I learned about just kind of by watching him about professional ethics and things like that. And so that was a great model for me to have embarking on this career as an attorney. My mother, on the other hand, I got to watch her kind of be a woman in the business environment. She started out as a teacher, but eventually in her career, she spent the bulk of her career as an associate dean at the Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge. And over the years that she stayed in that job, her level of excellence was such that she kept getting more and more responsibility, and in a very male-dominated administration. And so I saw her be very strong and convicted as to, the things that were right and the things that were wrong as she navigated that environment. And I saw, her deal with, attorneys and aspiring attorneys, which was helpful to me as, when I was in law school. But it really was just, seeing her navigate that environment and not, change who she was. And when she retired some years ago, the law center hired 3 people to take over her position because she had, she was just performing at a level that was bordering on superhuman. She would not agree with that, but she was just being herself and doing what she felt like she needed to do. So between the two of them, they were both very. I can see their influences in the way that I conduct myself, and there have been various other people who have certainly played a role over the years. People who have taught me how to be the type of lawyer that I am. But my parents are 2 of the biggest influences in my life.
That's great. And of course, that leads into, our place in the community. I know organizations like the Chamber would not exist if it wasn't for volunteers that really are passionate about the advancement for women. And I noticed that you serve on the Dress for Success board. So you really align with our mission too as well. So share a little bit why you volunteer in the community and really how has it helped you in your personal life or in your career?
I am always happy to talk about Dress for Success. When I first became a partner at the firm, one of the things that I felt strongly about was that I wanted to give back in some way. I definitely live by the adage, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I was happy to be introduced to Nancy Levicki, who was the then executive director of Dress for Success at that time. And the mission aligned so much with my, what I was looking for, because I could clearly remember being a law student and knowing how important it was and going on all these interviews to dress the part. And, we would all, go to law school, come to class with our suits hanging on hangers because, if we had an interview that afternoon. And the thought of, women who had all the tools that they needed to perform a job well, but may not have that right outfit to go on that initial interview. And so that really spoke to me, and it continues to speak to me. I've now been involved for over 20 years, and the organization has expanded so far beyond just providing interview suits. There are so many programs and opportunities for women to advance themselves, and through advancing themselves, advance the prospects for their entire families. And So I can't think of a better place to give my time. There are limited hours in the day, and so I felt and feel very strongly that if you're going to be involved with a nonprofit, that you need to be passionate about it. It's not just about checking a box and saying that you're on a board, but I want to be able to contribute, and I want to be able to to really feel that I'm making an impact. And I definitely feel that my work with the organization and the organization itself is very impactful in the Houston community, and I'm proud to be associated with it.
No, we admire them and partner with them a lot. Their office is right down the street from us, and have known Nancy for many years. So I understand your passion. And we all have opportunities to give advice. Sometimes it's unsolicited, and sometimes it's solicited. But if a woman that was re-entering the workforce, I know we're working longer now, and some people are changing careers, or if you had someone right out of college come and seek advice from you, what advice would you give to a woman entering or re-entering the workforce?
My advice to a woman entering the workforce really would be to be true to yourself, to be authentic in whatever environment that you are entering, and to not compromise your principles for anyone else. I think that we are in an environment these days where diversity of thought and viewpoint is valued generally, and if a woman finds herself in a situation where that is not the case, then I think that's a very big signal that might not be the right fit for that person. But at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself, and just find the place where you can be that authentic person and still thrive in your business life.
And how do you want Connie Taylor to be remembered? What do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy. It's interesting to think about a legacy. That seems like such a big word, but I think if I had to choose one thing, I would want my professional legacy to be about mentorship. Mentorship and service, because one of the things that I take great joy in my position is training younger attorneys, and I think that I have a clear memory of being that kind of fresh out of school person and not really knowing exactly what was going on, and so I strive to impart whatever knowledge I can to those starting out, both from a substantive standpoint and just teaching them how to be lawyers, but also practically and navigating various things. And so I would be proud to be to leave a legacy of mentorship, and from the service aspect, just giving, doing the best job that you can for clients and those around you. I think those two things, I would be proud to leave that legacy.
So, of all of the opportunities and types of attorney you could be, why did you choose employment law to be your specialty?
Well, I actually chose to be a real estate lawyer. I don't know that I chose it so much that it chose me. I was determined when I got out of law school that I did not want to be a litigator. I'm not, my personality is not such that I want to be in an adversarial position. constantly. And so I didn't think that litigation was for me. And so I was looking for something transactional. And when I was getting out of school, the real estate market was on an upswing and the firm was really busy. There was a lot of work. And so I kind of, met some people that were in real estate, and they were very excited about it, very passionate about what they did. And I started doing the work, and I thought it was fun, and I still think it's fun. I love being able to look out the window and know that I, worked on transactions involving certain buildings, or, not just in Houston, but all over the country. And so I like that tangible aspect of it. But I didn't I didn't go to law school thinking I want to be a real estate lawyer. And I didn't leave law school knowing that I wanted to be a real estate lawyer, but I am happy to be in this field, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
Well, I need to rephrase my question for the podcast. So you could have been any type of lawyer that you wanted to be. And so why did you choose being in real estate? We would love to hear your story. Okay, so you've already answered it. So I'm sorry that I got mixed up, but I did want to share with you Dr. Marianne Wilkins. I don't know if you remember meeting her, but she's admired you from afar. She's the one that nominated you.
Oh,
She's
wonderful.
Commercial real estate, and obviously works with a lot of attorneys, and so is always especially loves it when it's a woman, and especially a minority woman, because it's strictly a male-dominated field still. And so she really does admire someone that has had such a successful career. So, and she does want to take you some point up to the, I think it's called the Oak Room in the Post Oak Hotel, for a special
wonderful
treat sometime. So we will reach out to you later. And I know our last question is, I could think of so many adjectives to describe you, but if you had to just pick one, what adjective or what word best describes Connie Taylor?
So if I had to pick one word to describe me, I think that one word would be faithful. And I say faithful for two reasons. The first is that I am, my faith is a very important part of who I am. And, it is with me always, and has never let me down. And so that is a part of who I am. But in a professional sense, I think of it in terms of being loyal and, faithful to clients and the firm and family. And I think that there are so many ways to that word, I think, permeates my life. So that's the word that I would choose.
Thank you for watching the Global Businesswomen's Pod, brought to you by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. We cannot wait to see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. And remember, you can always find us at GHWCC.org.